In the house of your heart I walk softly, afraid to wake the quiet dreams resting in its corners, where love hums in silence and time bows to tenderness. I trace my fingers along the walls, built not of stone, but of every word you once whispered into the dusk when the world turned away and only truth remained. I hear my name echo faintly, like a vow lost between breaths, like the flutter of wings that know no cage. You have hidden gardens inside you, blooming with unsaid things, each petal an untold confession that my soul bends to read. I move carefully, barefoot upon the floors of your affection, feeling each heartbeat beneath me as if the house itself were alive. And in that warmth I find my reflection not as a stranger, but as something remembered, something you once dreamed before I even existed, before love had a name, and before you believed someone could ever truly stay. Every doorway in your heart opens to a new kind of light. I step through each one, discovering rooms scented with patience and filled with fragments of your laughter. Even the air feels different there, soft, forgiving, touched with the trace of all you have survived. In one corner lies a forgotten promise, wrapped in velvet silence, and I kneel beside it as though before an altar, knowing it was meant for me before it knew my name. The windows look out upon memories, and I see us walking hand in hand through a time not yet born. I rest against your chest, hearing the slow rhythm that calls me home again and again. How strange that love can feel both endless and fragile, both a sunrise and a fading star. I whisper into the air, and your soul answers without words. In this house I am not afraid of forever. I am only afraid of waking and finding it gone. Sometimes I imagine the house of your heart as a place carved from dawn itself, a space where shadows cannot linger long, and even sorrow is bathed in gold. The stairs creak beneath the weight of longing, but I climb them anyway, eager to discover the stories etched into the ceilings. There are pictures there, invisible, yet felt, of nights you spent waiting for someone to understand the language of your silence. I run my hand across the railing and it feels warm with memory. I open a door and find a room filled with words unsent, each one trembling like a leaf that once knew autumn's breath. I gather them close, promising to read them aloud to the wind. In that moment, I understand that to love you is not to own you, but to inhabit you gently, to dwell within the pulse that keeps you alive, to be a quiet echo in your stillest hours, and to guard the house that shelters every unspoken piece of your soul. In the kitchen of your heart I find warmth, simple, golden, alive. The scent of trust lingers there, mixed with the faint sweetness of forgiveness. I imagine you once standing alone, learning to feed your hope when hunger for love felt endless. Now I share your table, and even silence feels like a feast. The cups between us are filled not with wine, but with tenderness distilled from time. You look at me, and the world narrows to that single moment of knowing. I realize then that love is not loud or grand. It is made of quiet gestures. The way you hand me your heart as if it were something breakable, and the way I take it as if it were sacred. The walls sigh around us, alive with the sound of breathing dreams. And though the night presses close beyond the windows, I do not feel lost, for I have found warmth enough to light centuries in the steady flame of your gaze. There are corridors in your heart I have yet to explore, corridors lined with fears that tremble at my footsteps. I move slowly, not to frighten them, but to let them know I mean no harm. I have my own shadows, and perhaps they can sit together in peace. I touch the dust of old heartbreaks and recognize their shape, for I too have held pieces of yesterday that refuse to fade. Yet even here in the quiet ache of your past, I see beauty. I see strength shaped by sorrow, courage softened by loss. It humbles me. I want to learn every echo, every tremor that built the foundation of who you are. I want to sweep the corners clean, not to erase your story, but to let the light fall on it fully. For every heart has rooms it hides, and every love must ask for entry with reverence. And so I knock gently, whispering that I am not here to change you. I am here to stay. The house of your heart has a garden that never sleeps. Even in winter, I find blossoms of tenderness there, curling softly under the pale breath of moonlight. I walk among them barefoot, feeling the damp soil of your emotions beneath my skin. It feels real, grounding, infinite. You once told me that love frightened you, that it felt like rain that never knew when to stop. But I have learned to dance in your storms, to let your thunder roll through my bones without fear. Each drop that falls carries a reflection of us, of nights when words failed, but touch spoke everything. In this garden, I plant new dreams beside yours, letting our roots intertwine. I do not need sunlight when your presence itself glows brighter than day. Here I am not royalty, not a name in history, but simply a soul in bloom beside yours, and that, my love, feels like eternity unfolding. Upstairs I find a room I cannot enter without trembling. It is the room of your solitude, locked not by fear but by memory. I rest my forehead against the door, hearing faint music from within, melancholy and pure, the sound of who you were before the world touched you. I whisper through the wood, promising I will not rush your opening. Love cannot force its way into sacred spaces. It must wait, patient as dawn. I sit there for hours, tracing the grain of the door, imagining your younger self sitting beside it too, waiting for someone to understand without asking why. I wish I could gather all those years of loneliness into my arms, to hold them until they forget to ache. The air thickens with tenderness, and I realize that even locked doors have meaning. They are proof of what we protect. And I am honored to be trusted enough to wait outside, knowing that one day your heart will invite me in completely. In the attic, memories breathe like ghosts dressed in light. I climb carefully, each step stirring the dust of time, and there they are, letters folded, laughter stored, moments that refused to die. You have kept pieces of yourself up here, waiting for love to rediscover them. I kneel among your relics, and they whisper stories of who you once hoped to be. I do not envy those ghosts. I thank them, for they made you who you are now, the one who taught me how to love without fear. I take a memory into my hands, delicate as glass, and press it to my heart. It feels alive again. The house sighs as though grateful to be seen. And in that silence, I understand something sacred. To love you is to love every version of you, even the forgotten ones, even those who didn't yet believe in me. The attic glows brighter, and I leave it not with sadness, but with awe for the endless depth of your soul.